Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
Band from Ringside.
Tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast, Seth Rollins returns. Bron Breakker confronts Gunther. NXT debuts on the CW and crowns a new champ. We got the Mr. McMahon Netflix doc. We're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to talk about it more next week with Zach. Will Ospreay and Ricochet. Brian Danielson versus Okada and your bad blood predictions. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast. Well, I don't know. I got a lot of stuff to say about that.
Never mind.
Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Mark. So welcome to the Band from Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. J.D. Vance McMahon. And sitting directly across from me, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, BFR proudly presents to you your favorite podcast, Tag Team Champions of the World, the ABM JCB, the badass Bill Vagey, the natural born beefers. And on that lovely note, I'll ask the congregation to bow their heads as I read from the latest edition of the Band from Ringside podcast, volume 380, chapter 3, verse 14, and the good smart saith, hashtag boo the heels, it's all good, baby. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat, the holy trinity of BFR. The man is right. We got a lot to talk about. We got plenty to discuss and got predictions on the back end.
So we are coming at you from beautiful St. Charles, Missouri. No Zach tonight, no Vice tonight. I want to thank Murray, the Murray Man Murray, for being on the back burner in case I wasn't going to be able to make it tonight. And you know what? We should probably have Murray on sometime soon. It has been too long. It would be nice to check in with Murray. So let's keep that in mind for next time. But thank you, Murray, for always being ready. ABR. As Jason said, tons of stuff to talk about tonight. I appreciate the boys holding down the fort. Last week, I forget what I was doing. Oh, no, my band was recording. We were in the.
How was that?
It was good. We are going to record a new EP. We finally have a band name. The band name, it could be construed as a wrestling name. We are called Heater now. So there was a lot of discussion about what the new band was going to be called. It's a lot of guys that used to play in my old band, the Hibernauts. Of course, nice. We lost a good friend of ours who played, great friend of ours, who a brother to us, really, yes. Who played in the band with us, played in the band with me and the other guys, and played softball with Jason, and was Jason's friend and bartender and fellow drinker for many, many years, Jack Stevens. So we've kind of gotten back together and we're having some fun. So Heater, expect that record out sometime soon. But I'd say without further ado, let's get to that 3 count.
Shall we?
1, 2, 3.
JCB, kick it off.
I'm going to go in the spirit of old BFR as the 1 count as the most important thing that happened in the world of wrestling. And for me, as much as I love what's happening in WWE with the great storylines and great matches, to me, having them be so great is partly due because of competition. And competition breeds, success in some form or fashion, success or failure. Long story short, we're going to talk about AEW getting a 5-year renewal on their deal. I believe it's in 5 years in the neighborhood of, depending on where you look at, $150 to $185 million. Mm-hmm. They're going to stay on TBS and TNT with Collision and Dynamite. Their streaming service all going to Max starting in January of 2025. That's going with the backlog and pay-per-views going forward. So obviously
that was my question. So pay-per-views going forward are going to be live broadcast on HBO Max or just on Max?
If I'm not mistaken, Thriller, I know for sure is where Wrestle Dream, if you were going to watch Wrestle Dream on pay-per-view, Thriller is an option going towards the rest of the year. I would have to double-check it to make sure, but if I'm not mistaken, starting in 2025, Max should be an option. Thriller TV should be another option, so on and so forth.
I mean, that's huge for me.
It's huge. Well, I mean, and I'm not the financial guy. Obviously, we're missing him this week.
Yeah, we're missing him.
Just the knee-jerk reaction, it gives more legitimacy if you're like me and you never thought that AEW was going to die right away or you were hoping for their demise. This just gives them more legitimacy to at least say they are competition. I won't say they're a rival for WWE. They've only been doing this for the longest, not even as long as we've been doing the podcast, okay? That's how long they've been doing it. Our podcast has been going longer than AEW.
There have been less Dynamites than there have been BFRs.
Okay, so let's not sit here and think they're going to.
Where's our deal?
Yeah, right. Let's not sit here and think that they're going to take over WWE anytime soon. But like I said at the beginning, to me, I thought the most recent rise of WWE, even at the end of the Vince era, but more so with Triple H taking over, was the fact that AEW was created, was nipping on their heels in certain aspects, especially in the ring. And when you started to, it was all of a sudden it became, when we talked about it when they first came out, it was the Wednesday Night Wars. And that's what we talked about for at least the first year or so when they were in existence. Every Wednesday night, we were going to see something on both sides of the fence. And that's where I thought they raised the bar of competition, especially on the WWE side.
I mean, they even said it in the Vince documentary. You know, they talked about how competition, Dave Meltzer had, I mean, the documentary kind of skips 2004 to 2024. It skips a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It gets to the PG era, and that's kind of it. But Dave Meltzer launches into this thing, and of course he's exactly right, is that their creative peak was the Attitude Era. It was not the Ruthless Aggression Era. Now, I'm on record as saying it's better, as good as it's ever been now, and what happened? AEW came around.
Right.
So, competition not only is a creative boon for the industry, but it also means that there's more wrestlers working, there's more wrestlers getting paid. It's certainly more fun. You know, I don't want to step on Dynamite, but when you got guys like Shelton Benjamin showing up, I popped, crowd popped, everybody was excited about it. That's exciting.
Definitely was like, oh, you don't say.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
So,
oh, Shelton.
Super psyched to be able to go back and watch old AEW pay-per-views on HBO or Max, I should say. That is a streaming service to which I already subscribe and to which I use a lot. And good on them. You know, there's people making fun of it online for not being as much as WWE made their deal for. It's like, if WWE would have made this deal 10 years ago for $180 million or whatever, they would have thought that's a big amount. You know, 15 years ago.
It's still a nice little chunk of change.
Well, you know, we don't buy into the tribalism here, and there is quite a bit of it, but this is good for everybody involved.
Agreed. And
including WWE.
No, it keeps you on your toes. They're not going anywhere for a while, right, wrong, or indifferent, whether you like it or not.
WWE might not like the competition, but, you know, you got to have a little bit of friction.
Yeah.
If there's no friction, then, you know, you're not pushing yourself to be better. That's how we got Stone Cold. That's how we got The Rock.
I hate to go back to the Vince doc, but one of the things that stuck out to me was when they talked about after Vince bought out WCW, it was like, okay, now what? And then, you know, everything, the creative aspect of it is actually hurt at that point, because now you don't have anybody to push you to go to the next level. I was thinking about the Chiefs the other day. I was watching them play on Sunday afternoon. You know, they already got 2 championships. Now the next hurdle, the next mountain is the three-peat, which, you know, has never been done in the NFL. So now they have something else to aspire to. Once Vince took over WCW, it now got to the point where there was nothing else for Vince to achieve. You know, it was him taking out his rival competition, and now at that point, it's all gravy. Here, you got your, like, I'm going to say it, there's a rival competition. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. So when you got talent going from one side to the other, it is at least competition. I'm going to say rival competition because they're close enough in number-wise.
Well, look no further than what's happening with the Lucha Brothers right now. The Lucha Brothers were supposed to sign with WWE, and Tony Khan invoked some sort of injury time clause, I guess, which, you know, was on the contract that I forget which one's injured or which one. I guess it was Phoenix.
Phoenix was hurt.
But, you know, that was a contract that he signed, and Tony K is keeping them around to basically fuck with WWE. Now, listen, if you sign a contract and the person that you signed a contract with decides to, you know, enforce that contract, that is what it is. You know, he's not making –
It sucks.
It sucks. He's not making Rey Fenix go out there and fight Broadways while he's getting ready to go over to WWE, though, either. He's going to make him sit out, you know. That's business. Yeah, it's none of my business, but there is, you know, they might not be rivals, but they are competitors.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's what ultimately where I think this boils down to, where this is good for everybody involved. And you said the wrestlers, hell yeah. I mean, Bobby Lashley obviously should be on the way to AEW here in a little bit. Obviously, we saw Shelton Benjamin. We'll talk about that here in the one count. But, you know, now you have the ability to sign bigger name talent, or in some cases, like when Will Ospreay's, you know, contract comes up again, you have the ability to keep the big name talent. So yeah, this is a monster deal. As much as like I said, as much as I love WWE and most of the things that they have done, when I saw this deal come through, when Zach put it on our text thread, I was like, okay, this is good, because now you know that Triple H will have someone making him think 2 steps, 3 steps ahead. And if that's the case, WWE, like I said, is doing an amazing job for the most part with their storylines and the wrestling. So, yeah, like I said, win-win, especially win for BFR, because that means we're talking about shit more.
Definitely. And, man, if they're showing pay-per-views on Max, that means I don't have to worry about buying them or bootlegging them or watching them the next day. It means that I can just go ahead and flip it on whenever I want to. And that's very exciting to me.
It is. No, it's a big fucking deal. I'm going to Google this shit real quick, see what the particulars are. We can talk about, I guess, well, I watched Rampage. Did you watch Rampage? I'm sure you didn't.
I did not watch Rampage.
I'll go over the winners real quick. House of Black beats Leo Rush and Action Andrade. Action Andrade going after Brody King post-match. Not a smart move. They're going to have a match next week between the two of them. It just feels like Action Andrade is slowly but surely starting to flip heel.
Brody Lee's going to kill that boy.
Yeah, amongst other things. Anna Jay beats Robin Renegade. Anna Jay returning back from Stardom. She was in their 5-star Grand Prix, essentially the women's version of the G1 tournament. Takeshita beats Angelico. That was a decent match. I like Angelico. He's just, you know, lost in the sauce right now. Bill's favorite tag team, the Acclaimed, beat a couple of jobbers, setting up, I'm assuming, more with the MXM, but time will tell. And then in the main event, you had Will Nightingale defeats Taya Valkyrie. Decent match, nothing too crazy. It did kind of tease a Mariah May, Will Nightingale match. I went just for Mariah May's title reign. I know that Toni Storm wants to have her title match or title rematch in, I believe it's Australia. That's where she's from, correct? Australia?
Yes.
And that's in February of next year. I know I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again now. That's a long way away. And if that's the case, Tony Khan's going to have to do some work. And I mean, thinking ahead of time, if Will is the next in line, okay, so be it. But then he needs to be thinking about.
Willow's the right person to put against her right now, though.
No problem with that. I think it would be a good match. Will is a big baby face. It would pair well with Mariah's heel. Now, from that point, I would assume she would retain. Then what? I mean, I know February's going to get here before we know it, but there's still some stories that need to be told.
Well, I'd be more concerned with what's going to happen with Willow after Willow loses to Mariah May, because Mariah May's already calling her out for failing upwards over and over and over again. So
cold-blooded.
I don't see Willow Nightingale taking that belt off Mariah May, though.
I don't think. Oh, I would be stunned if that actually happened. But it is wrestling. Weird shit happens. But until you at least get Toni Storm and Mariah May in the same ring for that rematch, Mariah's probably going to have to keep retaining it to that point. I looked it up on Google. I'll just read it straight off. AEW programming will stream live on Max simultaneously for U.S. subscribers and will be available to stream on demand starting in 2025.
Doesn't specify pay-per-views, but it doesn't say excluding pay-per-views. It just says AEW programming.
Right. So part of me thinks it would be pay-per-views, but I would be a little surprised. Well, hang on. Furthermore, AEW live pay-per-views will be available on Max later in 2025 at a discounted price per event with all marketing and promotions. Let's try this again.
So you can pay for it, and it probably gets charged to your Max subscription.
At a discounted price per event with all marketing and promotions of those events exclusively centered on Max.
So that means that I can watch pay-per-views, pay for them,
discounted,
and my wife won't see that I paid for them. It's just coming off my cable bill.
Exactamundo.
Thank you, TK.
That's my dog. Let's talk Collision and open up with Jamie Hayter defeating Saraya in a Saraya's Rules match. I'm just glad that Jamie Hayter has now defeated Saraya. We can move her along to
Tell you what, if you're Saraya and you got Saraya's Rules match and you lose, you got to just hang them up, dude.
I mean, to tell you, you can't lose a match that's centered around.
Go be Xavier Woods ballet.
You ain't shit, nigga. God damn, you ain't shit. Funny, but you ain't shit. I'm ready for Jamie Hayter to make her climb back to the top of the women's division, at least challenge for the AEW championship. Mariah May and Jamie Hayter would be an interesting precursor to Toni Storm if that was going to happen. I'm not saying I want to, but just saying. Learning Tree defeats Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Orange Cassidy. The big story here is our boy Chris Jericho pins Mark Briscoe after Big Bill chokeslams Briscoe through a table. Obviously, I'm sure I should have said this, Texas Tornado rules in effect. Mark Briscoe alluded to that on Wednesday's Dynamite.
Dude, I'm telling you, that Chris Jericho is bitter. He is mad. His character, he can't even hide it how shoot mad he is.
Why you say that?
I just see those promos he's gotten. He's pissed off. He's being really snarky. I don't think that he's kayfabing the snarkiness. I think calling it TV time with Chris Jericho and saying, because all I want is TV time, right, guys? He is talking to the internet, man, and he is just playing to the people that say, well, I guess there have been crowds of thousands of people chanting, please retire.
Retire, yeah. I mean, it's not been once. It's been twice.
I can't believe that they just still trot him out there every single week. Cannot believe it. On both shows.
I'll go this far.
It feels, to me, it feels like he actually has go-away heat. Maybe it's the please retire chance. I don't know.
No, I was getting ready to say.
It seems to be a dead giveaway.
Watching Dynamite on Wednesday was obviously, it was a walk down memory lane, for a lack of a better term. And you saw, the different versions of Jericho throughout time. To me, for me, if we're just talking AEW, the Judas Jericho is the Jericho I liked. It has nothing to do with the song. It had everything to do with the character, him coming out as really the first real big heel of AEW,
Yes.
being the name brand.
And when he comes back as a babyface someday and plays Judas in my mind, the place will erupt. The place will erupt because that's the Jericho. But he has to go away for a little bit. You sound like broken records on this. If you don't go away for a little bit, people will forget that they like you.
I don't know.
And he's not just not going away. He is on TV on every single show. He doesn't even take a week off. I got the pictures to prove it, man. I got my notes here. I can go back every week. He's on Collision and Dynamite.
Obviously, I can't disagree because, I mean, we watch the shit.
Don't fact check me, Twitter.
I'll say you're going to lose on this one for sure. I'll just say this. If he does go away, it has to be something that he has to do. I think a part of me thinks this is TK bringing him out here every week. If Jericho is the true master of reinvention, the part of that is he has to go away. Who is keeping him here every week? You know, God forbid, Hook's poor ass. I was thinking about him the other day. Somebody said Hook was being, how'd they put it? Hook was being punished because Hook is not being looked as fondly, I guess, best choice of words, because Taz was not really well booked in WWF. Dominic, it was just a whole big deal. I don't think it has anything to do with that. Hook has been booked well to start. You try to pair him with Jericho. That shit didn't work.
Are people saying that Hook is not treated well?
Because of the way that...
Do they want Hook to be in the title matches?
I can't remember how the post was, but...
What do they want? He's on TV every fucking week. He gets in feuds and friendships with huge players. With Samoa Joe.
We saw
Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, yeah, I almost forgot about that. I like Hook. It's just I don't have a reason to care about Hook right now as it stands. There is nothing that makes me want to
not give a fuck about Hook.
As you weren't, obviously you couldn't. Well, then I'll let you talk about it because this is an AEW segment. You saw Hook give up the FTW title. Describe your reaction.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't on last week, and I texted you guys that morning when I watched Dynamite. Yeah, man. That was my mark-out moment of the year. I was going nuts.
You gonna stand on that right now?
Yeah. I was rolling around with my dog, just loving each other, just loving on each other. Couldn't believe it. Punch in the air. I called family members. Yeah, man. The FTW Championship, he didn't get it over, and it didn't get him over, if you ask me.
I don't think it did either, but neither here nor there.
You know why? It's not a real title.
None of them are, but some are booked better than others. I will just leave it at that. Speaking of the aforementioned...
It's not sanctioned.
Better choice of words. The aforementioned Brody King and Action Andretti did have their match. Brody King wins that match fairly easily. Action Andretti I'm just waiting for him to flip out at this point. He feels like...
Oh, they already had that match.
Yeah, it was on Collision on Saturday.
Shit.
I was just waiting for him to flip the fuck out at this point because he just seems like the ticking time bomb. I'm just not sure where he goes as a heel. Jack Perry defeats Suzuki by countout for the TNT title in a open challenge match. I don't know. This wasn't my favorite match by any stretch. Good on Jack Perry for getting baptized by Minoru Suzuki. I just don't think countout is just ugh. I don't.
Yeah,
it was hard for me.
He's a heel.
It was I'm just saying. I don't like the booking. I get the whole.
Wait till we get to Dynamite. I got thoughts about the booking on Dynamite.
The heel mentality of winning by a countout. I don't have a problem with that. You win however you need to win. That's why you're a heel. I just wish it just felt icky. You know what I'm saying? It would have been hard for me to imagine Jack Perry pinning Minoru Suzuki. Even harder for me to see him submitting Minoru Suzuki. So now as the match was going on, I'm like, how's this shit going to finish?
I'll tell you what, I love Minoru Suzuki, but I would rather have Tomohiro Ishii in that spot. I would rather watch a Tomohiro Ishii Jungle Jack Perry match than a Jungle Jack Perry Suzuki match. Maybe that's just me, but I mean Suzuki. I mean, come on, it's the same match every time.
Damn, you just challenge your inner JOF, Joey O'Farrell. Shout out to Tinder.
Joey O'Farrell hates him. Sorry to put you on blast, Joey. I don't know if you want that information out there.
Not saying he knows. He said it multiple times. Blackpool Combat Club retaining their AEW trios titles over Commander and Private Party. The obviously big story coming into this match was whether or not Wheeler Yuta was going to show up, and if so, how he was going to play into Blackpool Combat Club's title defense. Basically sat on the sidelines until all of a sudden he got tagged in and got slapped a couple of times, and the next thing you know, he's trying to rip somebody's arms off. Watching Claudio and Pac, like two older brothers, finally watching little brother beat somebody's ass the way they want to, was, to me, the funniest part of the whole. I wanted Commander and Private Party to win just because I just thought that it was time for a title change. But now, after watching this match, I'm ready to watch this card rack. Call me what you want to.
You mean the match next week? What? Oh, you're talking about this match.
Yes.
Blackpool Combat Club and Yuta versus Private Party and Commander.
Yes.
I was just trying to remember the line. The whole time you were talking, I was trying to remember a line that Matt Menard said because it fucking popped me. It was really, really funny. But, I'm cool with this story. I would have been cool with it last night if Yuta would have turned also. I was kind of waiting for that. I felt like they were teasing that, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I was like, he gonna kick that motherfucker.
It was really well done. There was just enough ambiguity that it was interesting.
Yes.
But I'm into this story, and I think that Pac is fucking killing it, man. I love that he's starting off their promos. Even Claudio seems more relaxed now. In this iteration, maybe it's because Pac is around, but Claudio seems cooler too. Claudio seems like a real heel who's mean. And Moxley is just off the charts.
Chef kiss.
Off the charts. I am about 60% of the way through his book. I'm listening to it on Spotify. And I don't want to listen to him at 1.5 or 2 speeds like I will with some shit. But his book, so I've just had Moxley in my ears for like the last week. And Moxley's cool as fuck, man. He is cool as fuck.
No, he's the type of motherfucker
and
you want to hang out with.
His book, it's called Mox, is free on Spotify, and I recommend it to everybody listening to this. It is if you're a wrestling fan, it like jumps around in time and stuff, and he just tells like each chapter is just like a story, and he'll go from like his old CCW days, and then he'll go up to AEW, and then he'll back up, and then it's pretty entertaining. But I think that Mox right now is just as good as a heel can possibly be.
If Will Ospreay wasn't around, would Moxley be your AEW Wrestler of the Year?
Yeah.
Over Swerve?
Whew. Over Danielson, too. No, not over Swerve. No. Swerve held the belt. He had more to do. No, Swerve had 2 insanely good matches on his title reign. It was a good title reign.
It was. All things considered, it was. I was worried about it at first, but overall, I thought it was. It turned out pretty good. BFR's new favorite tag team, the Outrunners, had a nice little vignette. I think it was the one that we saw before, but either way,
I think it was too.
I still thought it was funny as fuck. Call me what you want to. If the Bill Veggie special and the Three Beer special married each other and had kids, they would have this match: Mortos versus Hologram versus Dralistico.
Great description.
I thought about this. I was like, damn, this is like a fucking party match, but it's a triple threat match. I was like, this is what it is. It's totally what it is.
This match was awesome.
No, it really was. I mean, I kind of knew that Hologram was going to win because it felt like, the push is still on for him. But I guess the side story is Roosh coming out to collect Mortos and Dralistico, and Roosh, obviously, with LFO ties. Mortos just feels like we're just bringing him in to bring him in. But, hey, if we're going to bring back some old shit, I'm all for it. So we'll see what happens.
Give him something to do.
We'll see what happens there.
Give him a run with the fucking with the trios titles,
That would help. Or faction, yeah. If you gave them at least have them challenge for the trios titles, it would give BCC another.
I just don't want them to end up in Gates of Agony land with like two guys that like you want to see wrestle all the fucking time, and they're rarely on television, and they rarely get anything to do. Like that could easily happen to Mortos and Dralistico or Mortos and Hologram.
You ain't lying on that. Chris Statlander with a solid backstage promo. MXM. I don't know why I keep fixing doing that shit, mixing the letters up. Anyway, they get attacked by Billy Gunn, probably setting up once again a match between the two teams.
What you think of this segment?
It was silly. I didn't know. I honestly didn't know it was Billy Gunn. I didn't see a spoiler.
Some 2004 ass WWE
type shit. Yeah, it was very WWE-esque.
Very Billy and Chuck.
Very Vince. This will be a segment that Vince.
They touch the tips. And they touch their fingertips together. They say, touch the tips.
It's a little over the top.
They have a modeling show.
Okay. But this was kind of what they were doing.
They were like, oh, my God, anyway. This body is chiseled. And I was like, that looks. I don't know what I was thinking. I had
no idea who it was.
I was not thinking Billy Gunn.
No.
But it was an odd segment. I was riveted though.
The only time I was like riveted, it was like when they started to unveil it. I'm like, who the fuck is this?
You know what? I don't mind some 2004 ass WWE shit.
No, it kept me intrigued enough to watch the segment without walking away. So I'll give you that much.
They need to put the belts on those guys. Now that would be saying something.
Okay. Hang on, man. Hang on.
That would be a choice. That is bold storytelling.
Yeah, that's something. Look, I will tip my cap to them. MXM is better in the ring than I had anticipated, especially as a team. I will grant you that.
I just wonder that Mansoor was the one that always fought in Saudi Arabia and won every time because he was Saudi Arabian. And then Saudi Arabian, not known for their kindness to the homosexual community. So now Mansoor is in AEW and is playing a gay dude.
Is he gay? Are they gay?
Come on, man. They're supposed to be gay. Their catchphrase is touch the tips, and they touch their fingertips together.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I'm into it.
I'm good. If they want to be gay, be gay.
They better go over the Acclaimed.
They are not going over the Acclaimed. Stop hating on the Acclaimed, dude. Okay?
No.
Enough's enough.
I'm not going to stop hating on the Acclaimed.
He said no.
That ain't going to happen. Barking up the wrong tree.
I know. It's been like 4 months. Probably longer than that. Hangman Page defeats Jeff Jarrett in a lumberjack strap match. No surprise here. I just thought the two stories going on is here where Hangman Page goes out near the Dark Order. Dark Order doesn't attack him immediately until Hangman attacks one of them, and then obviously from that point the Lumberjacks are all trying to attack Hangman Page at various points throughout Hangman Page being on the outside. Post-match, Hangman Page, after the win, hangs Juice Robinson over the top rope, bringing out the return of. I'm sorry, that was Jay White on Collision, or was that Dynamite?
No, it was Dynamite.
Okay. Well, we can just fast forward to that. Yeah, Guns made the save. Yeah, and then okay, I'm mixing up the stories. we could talk about you could talk about this, or we can just jump to Jay White's return on Dynamite, which to me is obviously the bigger story.
Jay White's return on Dynamite was dope. I was way into it. Didn't expect it. Maybe I should have. But Hangman versus Juice is a match that I wanted to see also. It's like, oh, yeah, put these fucking guys together.
I didn't know I wanted to see it until it started to happen. I was like,
I'm sure it happened in the G1. It had to have happened in the G1 before.
I don't know. Let's say, if Hangman and Juice were in the same G1, that was like really early when we started to watch it.
I'll Google it.
Fair enough. I'll just say this for the return of Jay White. I didn't expect Jay White to come out. I didn't know who was going to make the save on Juice, if anybody at all. I just thought this was just going to be more of Hangman just going.
Well, I guess the story is that Hangman knocked out the Ass Boys earlier.
Yes. Attacked them backstage with a chair as they were randomly doing a backstage promo, and it just felt weird because they were doing, going through the highlights of the 5 years of Dynamite, and one of the matches on Dynamite was the Guns defeating the Acclaimed for the tag titles. I know that should put a smile on your face, Zach, as well. And then after that, they went to the Guns backstage. Then they got attacked by Hangman Page. Hangman Page and Juice meet. Juice loses that match. Page starts.
Jay White comes out.
Right.
Jay White coming out as a babyface gets a decent pop. The Pittsburgh crowd was odd. I'll say that. But he got a pretty decent pop coming back, and he's going to be a babyface. And Jay White versus this version of Hangman Page, fuck yeah, give it to me. Hangman Page is really good right now.
One of the better.
I flipped the corner a couple weeks ago, and now I'm on board 100%.
I was going to say definitely more intriguing than babyface Adam Page, and probably one of the better characters.
That dude's just like so mad, man.
I mean, at everybody. I mean, fuck your couch mad.
Yeah.
God damn.
I mean, once your wife's blueberries get eaten,
it's on.
It's on.
I was about to say, that's the line right there. You have now crossed over that shit. Main event of Collision, you had Kazuchika Okada defeats Sammy Guevara in a Continental title eliminator match. I thought this was a solid match. You don't usually see Okada going against guys that are more athletic, flippy, whatever word you want to use in this sentence. I thought the two contrasting styles meshed pretty well here. You kind of knew that Okada was going to win. It was just a matter of how he's going to do it. Go ahead.
When Okada decided to make him look good, he made Guevara look really good. There was a couple times. I mean, Okada got a lot of offense. Listen, I'm going to sound like a broken record on this. I don't even want to talk about Okada. Sammy Guevara is just cannot get over as a babyface.
Agreed.
He's got Dustin Rhodes in his fucking corner, for Christ's sake.
Still can't get over.
Still can't get over.
No, not as a babyface. I'm just a firm believer. He's a heel. Keep him as a heel.
Like The Miz.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's just one of those guys that should never be a babyface.
Oh, my God. I was saying that Monday night.
He just
totally
doesn't look
saying
good.
that. No, it feels weird. It's like a tight pair of shoes or trying to put the right shoe on your left foot. The shit just is like, this motherfucker ain't going in.
That's a really good analogy.
Something wrong with that shit. I was like, nope, wrong shoe. Let's go over to Dynamite from last night. It opens up. We talked about it earlier with the Blackpool Combat Club, just with another
fire, dude.
I mean, this is the Blackpool Combat Club. We remember when they first came in. I was so excited about them. I got this excitement again.
It's better.
They feel more dangerous, better, whatever word you want to use in the sentence. Mina Shafir, I don't know what language she spoke, but whatever it was, I was like, it was short and sweet. That's all I need to know. There's a lot of consonants. Somebody gone fucked up and pissed their ass off, but neither here nor there. It was really centered around Jon Moxley and just reaffirming the fact that war is coming. He didn't want to do this, but now he has to do this. Still speaking in riddles like Excalibur said. I don't know if there's someone above Jon Moxley pulling the strings. maybe a Shane McMahon might be someone you want to throw in this scenario. We've seen pictures of him out and about.
The announcer, I think it was Excalibur, laid it on pretty thick at the end. He was like, who is Jon Moxley? Who is there some like shadowy hand or something? Mm-hmm. And it's like, is it really going to be Shane?
I'm not saying it's going to be Shane. I'm just saying if there's a spot you want to bring Shane in as, this will do it.
Have they called themselves the Blackpool Combat Club since they flipped heel? Because Shane being the leader of the Blackpool Combat Club doesn't sound right.
I don't think so.
They can't be called that. They got to be called the the Mean Street Posse.
Stop. I gotta say, I got thoughts on Shane and the Vince doc, but we'll save that for a minute. Dynamite physical match opens up with Ricochet versus Will Ospreay for the AEW international title. Not gonna lie, I was really looking forward to this match. It was delivering. I was very entertained. The false finish did get me as Will Ospreay lands on Ricochet, and you can see Rick Knox get down on his knees. He hesitates. I'm like, don't you do this, you son of a bitch. And he counts both shoulders down. And I knew that's what he had to do. I was just sitting there like, fuck you, Tony. Don't you fucking do this shit. So, of course, they restart the match, and then I get a better result. It was not the one I expected, but it's the one I ultimately wanted at the end. Takeshita comes in, wipes out Will Ospreay, ends the match this way. So now we have a Bill Vegas special for Wrestle Dream. Ospreay versus Takeshita versus Ricochet for the international title match. I saw this today. I damn near wrecked the car on the way to work. I was like, oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
Can you fucking believe it? Takeshita, Ospreay, Ricochet in a triple threat match.
Talk about the match. Talk about the triple threat.
So, the match was good. If you're they played the hits, It wasn't, they didn't do any deep cuts. But the double count out, or the double pinfall, I should say, I'm fine with if it's the end of 30 minutes. Having both those guys both those guys hands on the mat, or shoulders on the mat, 15 minutes into a match or something. I mean, we've seen Ospreay wrestle 45-minute matches, so. But, it was what it was. And Takeshita coming in, I didn't expect them to give us a clean victory in that Ospreay Ricochet match anyway. So,
okay, I guess that was just me wishful thinking.
I mean, who should have gone over?
As the match was going on, I was thinking, okay, so if Ricochet wins, this frees up Will Ospreay for the winner of Moxley Danielson. You got built-in storylines kind of both ways. So I was kind of leaning towards Ricochet winning. I just didn't believe it in my heart of hearts. It was something was going to happen dramatically for me to be like, oh, shit,
a pretty
this
big
is
win.
It would have been a huge win. So that's why I was like, okay, Ricochet should win this match just for that reason. Now, I'm so glad that shit didn't happen. This is the match I wanted, because now you have Takeshita coming back from the G1. Like we said, we've been waiting for something like this to happen.
Getting pinned in a triple threat is not the same as getting pinned in a one-on-one
really not.
Match.
It feels a little different.
Yeah.
Because now if you wanted to, Takeshita could pin Ricochet. Ricochet takes the L. Takeshita gets the dub. Everybody really, Will Ospreay walks away unscathed.
You get the belt off Will Ospreay, and you elevate Takeshita.
Everybody really
Ricochet's
wins.
fine.
Ricochet would be fine out of this. This would not be the worst thing in the world.
They have to give Ricochet wins at some point, big wins. But now's not the time when you got Takeshita and Ospreay.
This is a hard ask for Ricochet to get wins over either or, whether it's Takeshita or Will Ospreay. It would have to be in a scenario where, like I said, two moves was like, oh shit. Yeah. And now you can see that actually happening. Right now, fingers crossed, Ricochet's gonna be okay. Backstage segment with Mercedes Moné. MVP gives Mercedes Moné his card. I'm not sure. Well, let's just fast forward to it, because obviously we talked about it earlier. Shelton Benjamin makes his AEW debut in a second backstage segment with MVP and Prince Nana. I totally forgot Prince Nana actually wrestled there for a while. I had to chuckle when he said that shit. Neither here nor there. Shelton Benjamin makes his return.
Do you like the idea of
or makes his debut?
Mercedes Moné with MVP?
Yeah, at first I scoffed at it, but the more and more I thought about it when I was watching it this morning, I love it. Mercedes, one biggest problem with everybody, and whether it's people who like her or people that don't like her, I think that we could all agree that promos is her biggest weakness. MVP is there just to talk. MVP is there just to talk and talk alone. That could take a ton of pressure off her. You can still have Camille be basically the bodyguard for the whole damn syndicate if you wanted to, and go that route.
Put them together.
That
Put
would
them
make
in the Hurt
total
business,
fucking
or whatever they're going to call them.
The Hurt Syndicate is I thought was the temporary name I saw.
The Hurt Syndicate.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's all right.
Ultimately, I would love to see that. I think the Swerve thing is a ruse to bring in Bobby Lashley. That's fine. But Mercedes Moné and MVP together, I think that would make a lot of sense and would get some of the heat off of Mercedes on the microphone.
I'm all for it.
We kind of talked about the Guns getting attacked backstage by Adam Page. That ends up leading into the Adam Page Juice Robinson match. Page wins. Jay White returns to make the save. We haven't talked about TV time yet, but we'll talk about it here really quick. TV time with Chris Jericho.
So Chris Jericho challenges Mark Briscoe. I'm going to take over here for a second because I have a question. And says, we know you can never beat me, but I'm sure your brother could have, or something to that effect. And he said, you'll never be as good as your brother, pause for dramatic effect, was. So, are you okay with the cheap heat of bringing in Mark Briscoe's recently deceased brother, tag team champion, co-tag team champion, and his brother who, let's face it, was better. Jay Briscoe. I mean, nobody doubts it. Mark Briscoe was never ROH champ until his brother died.
Stop.
I gotta keep it real. Are you okay with the cheap heat?
I'm sure they talked about it beforehand.
Did I just sound like a total dick?
Not a total dick, a little dick.
Giving praise to a dead guy.
Yeah, right. If he likes it, I love it. Ultimately, did it make me react? Yeah. So ultimately, it did its job. But I'm sure that Jericho and Mark Briscoe at least discussed this beforehand. So.
Yes, I mean, I'm sure it was met with a blessing. But, it is cheap heat.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Because as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, you better punch this motherfucker right now. 2 minutes later, Jericho's on the ground. Like, yeah, that's what
Christian
I thought.
walks around talking about people's dead dads every single week, though.
Somebody gonna kill that motherfucker. I'm telling you. Who killed Christian Cage? If that happens on AEW, then somebody listened to this podcast, and then it came to and somebody told Tony Khan it didn't happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Jack Perry and Shibata fight in, I guess, not backstage, but it was met. They met backstage. They fought.
Like the loading dock.
Got into the ring or whatever the case may be. Jack Perry, Shibata for the TNT title somewhere down the line.
I'm for it. I bet that'll happen at Wrestle Dream.
Quiet as it's kept, Jack Perry can kind of wrestle.
Oh, fuck yeah, he can.
And I would be curious to see how he and Shibata would match up against each other. I would assume Jack Perry would win.
I mean, he's still kind of a baby,
In the grand scheme of the wrestling world, yes, but he does have some wrestling, like some grappling moves in the ring that can be a little fun to match up against Shibata with. So, like I said, I'll be curious to see what happens there. Danielson with a backstage vignette, whatever the case may be. Britt Baker returns back home to Pittsburgh to defeat Serena Deeb. Shut the fuck up. Post-match, Serena Deeb attacks Britt Baker.
They both left the restaurant at the same time. Britt Baker was eating and Serena Deeb was her server.
I was trying to make it through. You ain't shit, man. God, why do you hate Serena Deeb so much?
I don't, man. I like her. I don't know why I'm so mean to her.
Dude, you are just ruthless. It's like she said something bad about you.
I liked her when she was in the Straight Edge Society.
Yeah, look at you. Talk about me turning on Naito. Look at you. You just doing the same 180.
She
goddamn.
just does look like an Applebee's waitress. She just does. She looks like an Applebee's waitress.
Mariah May at ringside watching this match. Are you interested in Britt Baker and Mariah May?
Yeah.
I'm
of course.
curious. No, I'm curious too.
I'm into Mariah May.
Most red-blooded Americans, not even Americans.
I like to watch her.
Me too. Hook backstage talking to Renee Paquette. Side note, Taz was apparently attacked in the parking lot before the Dynamite episode. Nigel McGuinness stepping in on commentary. So the question is, who attacked Taz? Hook obviously distraught. He wants answers. Christian Cage with another amazing fucking promo. I don't even know. A part of me wants him to win the title just because it feels like he has earned the right by this monster heel run. And a part of me hopes that he doesn't win the title just to see the meltdown of him just reacting about him losing this title. Either way, Luchasaurus obviously gone for a little bit for those who didn't know.
Hook was so fucking mad.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, Luchasaurus has pneumonia or something.
Yeah, he's down for a little bit. Not sure when his return is. So
Hook was acting like – go ahead.
No, hopefully he's okay, but go ahead.
I got this joke I got to get out. Hook was acting like somebody spilled Code Red on his Dreamcast. He was so fucking mad.
Slapping the golden dog. I'm like,
dang it!
Come on, man.
Guys!
No, you overselling this shit.
I'm so mad.
Yeah, you overselling this shit. You need to be more somber about this shit. Be like, man, I'm gonna fuck this. You know, he just was like mad. Like you said, somebody spilled some shit.
He looks like
he
should be playing hacky sack in the quad, man. I just do not see an adult when I see him.
Okay, part of the reason why I can't be sold on Hook just yet. He hasn't earned his stripes, at least in my mind. That's just me. Mariah May and Willow backstage. They confront each other. That probably is going to be a match somewhere down the line. I don't think it's official yet, but we shall see. Private Party squashes another BFR favorite, the Iron Savages. Private Party throws down the gauntlet, saying they're going to be AEW Tag Team Champions this year. I don't see that shit. Who came out here?
Tony had just got done watching the WCW Thunder because this was a loaded-ass segment. It had Private Party, the Iron Savages, Stokely Hathaway, the Young Bucks, Jungle Jack Perry, and Shibata.
So this turns into ultimately a six-man tag for next week. I believe it's tomorrow night on Rampage or Collision, one or the other.
Yep.
Private Party and Shibata versus, the Bucks and Jack Perry, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so curious to see that. Decent showing for Private Party, but once again, I'll probably can speak for all of this. If you're going to have the Iron Savages on, you got to let them talk. That's all I ask. From that point, squash them, kick them to the side, wherever the case may be. Talked about the MVP, Prince Nana and Shelton Benjamin, the debut of Shelton Benjamin, and then obviously the main event. And I'll let you take over from here because I have my own personal thoughts as well.
Okay.
For title, Kazuchika Okada putting up the Continental title versus Brian Danielson putting up the AEW championship for the first 20 minutes. The Continental title was up for grabs, and then 20-plus going forward, it was the AEW championship. Go ahead.
I did not listen to the podcast last week, but did they announce this match in advance?
As far as I was concerned, there was no build. There was no connecting of the dots. I looked up, and this match was made.
I mean, I didn't know it was going to be the main event until I turned on Dynamite this morning, and it was like, oh, what the fuck? So you're looking at this, and then it opens with Blackpool Combat Club. Ricochet and Ospreay come out, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, this is going to be a fucking insane Dynamite. They had two
5-year episodes.
Yeah.
Shit.
Okay, so Ricochet and Ospreay and Danielson and Okada both had shit finishes.
Mm.
They didn't book it. First of all, I said the Pittsburgh crowd was strange earlier, and it's because they were really dead for this match, and they didn't seem like they were dead the whole night. So I'm not sure, because this match was really fucking good. Those two guys, they're two of the best in the world. They're two of the best to have ever done it. This match was fucking awesome. Blackpool Combat Club coming out was fine, I guess, but it was also kind of overbooked with the 20-minute stipulation. I mean, I enjoyed watching this match, and I wasn't turning away, and I wasn't doing something else. Like, I was paying attention to it, and I thought it was fucking awesome.
I didn't like the step. I don't like title for title. Well, I get it. I get why you do it. You know, it's going to make me watch. It's going to boost the numbers. It just doesn't mean anything, though, because nobody ever thought that either guy was taking the other guy's belt. Ultimately. So, for me...
And they booked it like pussies.
You know...
I mean,
as much as I would love to see Okada be AEW champion, it wasn't going to happen here. And we all know this. So I wouldn't say they booked it like pussies. They're booking it the way that TK envisions it. The backslide kind of protects.
Like a pussy.
The backslide protects Okada, especially when he's being distracted, quote unquote, by Blackpool Combat Club. That being said, wasn't a huge fan of it, but I get it. At least makes sense. Okada taking out his frustration post-match, that's cool too. Talked about the Moxley discussion, but like I said, when Will Yuta got in that ring, I was like, okay, this is what I'm waiting for. I was literally thinking he was going to, when he was on the ropes, I thought he was going to come down and then like super kick fucking Danielson in the face and join Blackpool Combat Club. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I was waiting for it too. Like I said before, I like the story, but having an Okada-Danielson match and the end of that match being you're going to get a tag team match next week is just like, well, okay. You know, it should be the other way around. It should be, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they gave us Danielson and Okada last night. It seems...
Oh, I know why. I don't like the finish of it. That's all.
Well, if you can't have a good finish, then don't book the match.
I've been saying that for a long time. Y'all motherfuckers be looking at me crazy when I say some shit like that.
This has been Cornette's Corner.
That wraps it up on Dynamite, AEW in general. Big week for AEW. Obviously, like we said at the open, their 5-year deal is going to keep everybody at least on their toes for the foreseeable future and obviously give us more to talk about. So, yeah, congratulations to Tony Khan and AEW.
Let's get to that 2 count.
1, 2, 3.
All right, the 2 count is going to be WWE. Now, we also have WWE Bad Blood predictions coming up, so we might kind of skim over some of this. But SmackDown opens up with RKO, or with Randy, Cody, and KO versus the Bloodline. KO is selling, some displeasure at Cody Rhodes' recent decision-making. So what you think about the opening segment?
Love Randy Orton calling out Cody and, basically sowing the seeds of, well, not even sowing the seeds, just reminding us of their friendship, legacy, all that stuff. Kevin Owens still not saying, why he's upset with Cody, but slowly but surely it played itself out. This is probably one of the better uses of the Bloodline with Solo Sikoa as the head. Just, reminding everybody that, hey, it's not you guys that can get the job done. Roman can get the job done, but whenever you guys help Cody Rhodes out, you guys drop the ball. And that was a nice way to use Solo Sikoa as the foil that at least I want him to be, where he's not going to be Roman Reigns. It's a hard act to follow if you're Solo Sikoa.
Well, I mean, Roman Reigns is just completely unnatural. I mean, his look is unlike anybody else's look. Solo Sikoa don't look like Roman Reigns.
So to follow him is a hard task. I thought this was a good use of him here.
It's hard out here for ugly people.
Preach.
So Bailey goes over Naomi. Bailey's going to get the title shot against Nia Jax. We'll talk about that later. Carmelo Hayes and Andrade have their 6th match in their best of 7 series, and Carmelo Hayes goes over in what was my favorite match of the series thus far.
I was just going to say that.
LA Knight comes out. He got jumped by Carmelo Hayes earlier. What do you think about this?
Honestly, because obviously we're going to get a 7th match, and I was thinking about this after I watched SmackDown. It could go either way. My heart kind of wants Carmelo to win it because I think he's a future, long-term star. My head says it's Andrade because he's the established star. The way I would do it, if you could do it, if I had the pencil, this is where you bring Charlotte back. You have Charlotte help Andrade beat Carmelo Hayes, have them reunite as heels and go forward.
Isn't that a little small for Charlotte?
I don't think it's that small.
I guess not if you're gonna really push Andrade, but if
Charlotte's
Charlotte's hanging out with Andrade, that means Andrade's getting pushed to the moon. That's
me shrugging it because you can't see it.
Yeah, thank you. It's an audio platform. There was an AJ Styles vignette. I guess he's coming back. Shin versus Piper, and then the tag team match at the end, and then the schmaz, which is what we all thought. We'll have a lot more to say about the Bloodline later. Anything to say about that?
Just 2 things. AJ coming back. I won't say hopefully, but if this is his last run, hopefully in that scenario, hopefully he has some good matches used properly on the way out the door. The final match, the main event.
Another title run?
No, I was getting ready to say I think that's asking a little too much, especially with guys coming back, Rock coming back, Reigns coming back, Cody is the champion. I'm just not sure where AJ will fit in that top tier of a SmackDown.
He should go to Raw.
Gunther, Bron Breakker,
Jey Uso. Ilya Dragunov's got a torn ACL.
Yeah, I saw that. That kind of sucks. Maybe. I mean, if you wanted to give him, put Gunther over on the way out, you can go that route too. But hopefully, I just hope AJ Styles just gets a good run on the way out the door. The main event was basically the water on the seeds of what Solo Sikoa said. All that shit that, you don't want Cody down. Now Cody comes out, ultimately helps Bloodline win the match indirectly. KO snaps a little bit. KO flips first. Randy follows. Ultimately is the way I see it playing out.
You think they both flip heel?
Yes. I think Cody needs something to do that's not Roman Reigns related.
Especially if they're going to have the Bloodline versus Bloodline War Games match.
At some point, Cody's got to have a different storyline. Having him face, and we talked about it, having him face Randy Orton is one of those things I want to see.
Jey Uso comes out to open up Raw, moving on to Raw, and cuts a babyface promo that I made notes on. And I put the letter Z 7 times above it.
Wow.
Right here.
Damn. Yeah, that'll do it. That's cold, dude. You didn't like the promo?
Fuck no, I didn't like the promo. He was just talking like this. Some people would say, yeet. He loves you. He really loves you. He loves you so much. He's glad to be the champion. Yeet. He loves his mother. It's like, okay, dude. God damn. It sucked. I've been waiting to shit on this for days.
I don't think it was nearly.
This was a terrible promo, dude.
Babyface
promos are babyface promos. Sure, he's not out there to set the world on fire.
No,
he was out there he wanted the entire audience to absorb his charisma, and he just had nothing to say.
I think we all know Jey Uso has charisma. I don't think that should be even.
Yeah, he does.
Okay,
and
so
he's not using it. This yeet thing is a albatross around his fucking neck.
Are you out of your mind? Jey Uso is
for his promos, I should say.
For this promo, I'll give you that.
He's over.
A part of the reason why I think he was using it as a crutch is that as the promo as a total, he kind of said why he was emotional to this point. His mom, being a twin, being in Roman's shadow. This was Jey Uso trying to, at least in my opinion, trying to hold his emotions together.
Every once in a while on this show, I have to just kill something beautiful, just to remind everybody that I'm still the asshole. I may have softened a little bit, but I'm still the asshole. Jey Uso sucks.
Oh, my God. I didn't think it was nearly that bad. Bron Breakker coming out was a little bit of a surprise because I was wondering what they were going to do with it.
Well, it was a surprise until it happened later. So
then I was like, oh, okay. Fuck it. Let's go.
He's turning babyface,
yes.
And he's going for Gunther.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going for Gunther immediately, but he's going for Gunther. And if he dropped the IC belt to Jey Uso to keep shooting on up to the top, I'm completely for it. This is ballsy booking. I fucking love it. Bron Breakker versus Gunther. Strike while the iron's fucking hot with Bron Breakker, dude. He'll be a made man.
A loss to Gunther right now would not hurt Bron Breakker.
Not at all.
And I have to wrap my head around that being the bigger long-term story.
It would be such an endorsement for him. That's what it would be. That would be the biggest thing, is that WWE is saying, we gave him the ball to see if he could run with it, assuming that he runs with it, which I'm assuming that he will, that he won't be overshadowed by the moment or by the big bright lights that shine on the World Heavyweight Championship. If he goes through it well, that's laying the groundwork. Bron Breakker, the sky is the fucking limit.
I don't want to see it right away. I do want to see it. We did see it in NXT, obviously, with their unification match. So
you got a dog over here, Bron Breakker.
And when Jey Uso said that and everybody started to bark, I was like, okay, he's the next big baby face. Could easily overshadow Jey Uso.
Uso gave him the stamp of approval, too.
So in that scenario, I was like, okay, now I felt a little more, convinced that Bron Breakker as a baby face could actually work because fans are gravitating to him. They were gravitating to him as a heel, so it should work as a baby face.
Let's talk about both segments that happened with the New Day, where it still looks like we're getting towards a slow Xavier Woods heel turn. Xavier Woods pisses off Rey Mysterio. They have a match. Kofi and Xavier Woods talk backstage like, what the heck, man? And Kofi ended up having a match later on against Chad Gable, two guys that can really go. What do you think about these segments? What do you think about where the New Day is going?
Slow Xavier Woods turn against the Rey Mysterio in the Rey Mysterio match. I don't care what anybody says. I'm with Joe Tessitore. He pulled the mask off and took advantage of the situation now.
100%.
How you want to spin that, how Xavier wants to spin that, I'll wait until next week. In the Chad Gable match, it's an accidental trip of the leg, and now you have Kofi Kingston in a scenario where he's vulnerable to the finish for Chad Gable. If it was me, once again, if I had to pencil, the New Day anniversary is in November, so that it's just a month away. You can play this thing out until Big E comes back for the quote-unquote anniversary episode. Let's just say it's the first episode of Raw in November. It's a 2-hour episode. So starting on, if I'm not mistaken, it starts next week. We're all being 2 hours for the rest of the year. So that's going to be curious to see how they play that stuff out, but neither here nor there. If it was me, I would wait until Big E came back for their segment where they're trying, it's a celebration of the 10 years of the New Day. And at that point, you would have Big E trying to be the mediator between Kofi and Xavier Woods. Now, from there, this is where you can have Xavier Woods beefing with Big E as a former champion, Kofi as a former champion, or you guys are looking down on me, yada, yada, yada. The key to it is that Xavier Woods would have to strike Big E in some form or fashion, so where now that really, if you want to flip Xavier, I think that's the way to do it. Hitting Kofi would be one thing. Hitting Big E, beloved, who's been gone for a while, that's a totally different scenario, and I think that would be the perfect way to flip Woods.
I think even hitting Kofi would be a big deal. They've been together for 10 years.
He's been gone for a while, and it wasn't like, they wrote him off, in kayfabe style. He unfortunately he got hurt. If he just comes back and is, like I said, just, hey, guys, come on, man, chill out, and somehow, some way, Xavier hits Big E, let's say he's in the middle, and, Woods like, fuck this shit, I'm throwing a punch at Kofi, and he accidentally hits Big E. That would be like, oh, you would still get the same effect, and you would still have people looking at Xavier sideways. So, That's just me. That's what I would do.
I'm interested again. I'm back and interested.
Bring Big E back and be more interested.
Lyra Valkyria versus Zoe Stark, Caden Carter and Katana Carter and whatever their names are. Casey and KC. That's why I keep writing down.
Oh, shit.
They used to. Oh, it's Katana Chance and Caden Carter. It used to be Katie Catanzaro.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Or Casey. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. So let's get to the McIntyre and Punk part, because that part is interesting. They're selling it like a real blood feud, and this was a good go home promo for a Hell in the Cell match, didn't you think?
Oh, it's going to open Bad Boy, which is it's a hell of a fucking curtain jerker. It goes to my whole thought of, you should never want to open the show.
They
Fuck
said that?
Yes,
it's going to open.
It's going to open, and the tag match is going to be the main event.
Where is that pay-per-view?
It's in Atlanta.
Okay.
Cody's a backyard. I mean, come on, you'd be fooled to think if they were not going to be the main event. Like I said, this to me just adds more fuel to my fire of feud of the year with Punk and Drew. I was riveted the whole way through. Both sides got their shots in. Both sides made me want to. I'm really, really interested. I don't have any idea who's going to win this match, but I'm damn sure excited to see this shit. They have got me like, both guys out in my head are going to be bleeding in some form or fashion. This should be the most violent of all the matches, because it has to be a blow-off for a little bit. Maybe until Royal Rumble comes around, you have them cross paths again.
I think whoever loses this match wins the Royal Rumble.
Interesting.
That's my prediction.
The winner probably springboards towards Gunther. The loser probably just hangs out.
Back, and then he wins the Royal Rumble.
I could see that. Then in that scenario, I want Drew to win. It's not even because I want Punk to win the Rumble. I like Drew so much. He has been just an amazing heel. If we had heel of the year, he would be my vote for, at least on the WWE side. Just watching him do his work, especially against Punk, has been an amazing just joy to have him do his thing. And like I said, this should be one of the better matches of the card, for sure.
I don't have much to say about Judgment Day versus LWO, and then Ripley and Priest coming out. We'll get to Liv and Rhea in a little bit. There was another Wyatt 6 vignette. And then there was the Gunther Sammy part, which I don't really remember very much of. Trying to think about it.
Sammy came out.
Oh, he finally gave him his match. That's right.
Gunther
Gunther was really good here. When Gunther said, your family expects you to lose. He's like, my family expects me to be great. That was really good shit by Gunther, and it's going to be made even better because Gunther is going to beat Sammy. So I'm into this.
I just wish it wasn't on Raw, but like I said, with Raw going to 2 hours starting next week through the rest of the year.
Triple H likes the 5-match pay-per-view.
I'm not mad about that shit. I mean, if there are 5 matches that, have good storylines going into it, and you deliver with the physical match
I
itself.
would rather Sammy and Gunther be on the 5-match pay-per-view than Nia Jax and Bayley.
Yeah, for sure. If you're going to do it, then let's really do it. I would love to see that match, Sammy and Gunther, on a bigger stage, but they're going to still have a banger on Raw. And it'll give them, it will give the number for 2 hours probably a bigger pop because people will be, more willing to invest it into the 2 hours versus the normal 3 that we've been dealing with for years.
Awesome Truth goes against Authors of Pain, who are, still on the roster. They're out there a lot, but Awesome Truth breaks up. There's a Miz heel turn. Miz is just, so much better as a heel. It's just not even close. Miz is fine. I don't hate when the Miz is on TV, and I don't tune in to see him.
No.
You know what I mean?
But Miz
But if he's going to be on
role.
TV, if they're going to put him on TV, then I want him to be a heel.
Yeah, Miz has a role, and he's usually the guy that's going to get somebody else over or, has the Miz TV segment. Obviously, we saw that on NXT, whatever the case may be. At this point, Miz has basically done all he can do at the top of the card. He's been champ, WrestleMania, yada, yada, yada. Now he's more for it, at least for me, as entertainment value, but he's still a good hand. Don't be surprised to see him and Bron Breakker cross paths at some point coming up in the near future as two guys that have flipped, different sides of the
Squash
fence,
his
or whatever
ass.
the case may be. But no, this was, to me, a long time coming for Miz. He's been trying to talk to Braun Strowman, blowing him off. Truth keeps getting him in the matches that, all of a sudden he's, what the fuck you mean? We lost the titles because of you. I'm getting beat down because of the Bronson Reed. You know what I'm saying? This was a while. And when Miz says why, he should bring up all the things that just happened because of other people. So why you mad at me because this motherfucker getting me caught up in some shit?
And then finally we have Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman in a true battle of the big men. This is big, meaty men slapping meat. Strowman ends up going over. And I was thinking Jason said he'd be pissed if Bronson Reed didn't go over, but I'm sure that Jason was okay with this.
I'm trying to give a poker face. I'm trying.
Well, let me ask you this first.
Okay.
Is this the greatest Braun Strowman match of all time?
Yeah, recent memory. Yeah, for sure. I'm sure there's a Roman Reigns match out there that I like that might be better. But this is what I was saying before about Braun Strowman. He's more of a wow factor kind of guy. He's the, I'll flip this tractor trailer over kind of guy, so you need to use him in, big wow kind of spots, getting splat or tsunami'd on to the car, big spot, ring imploding, big spot. So for me, this was probably one of the best ways to use Braun Strowman. Was it his best match? I'm willing to, say it's one of the top 5. Now, if I can name the other 4, I should be in Dave Meltzer's spot. All that being said, for 30 seconds, I would be lying if I said seeing Seth Rollins come out to help Strowman, it pissed me off. I would be lying if I said otherwise, but I should have known when you saw him.
Well, he didn't come out to help Strowman. He came out to fuck Bronson Reed.
Whatever. When I saw him on, Sunday Night Football, Saturday, whatever, I should have known right then he was coming back to help out.
There was that really good Braun Strowman Yoshihashi match in the G1 that one year. Put Strowman in the G1. I love this match. I'm just surprised they didn't play Seth Rollins' music when he came out because I was expecting a Burn It Down, and they didn't give it to me. He just came out with no music. That surprised me.
No,
was this really obvious? Did you guys predict this last week?
No, I knew Seth Rollins was going to come back, but I thought Bronson Reed would go over, and then you would have him going strong and then have Seth Rollins come back and you go from there. This is not a bad use of bringing back Seth Rollins. It makes perfect sense in kayfabe style. So that's why I'm not mad about it.
It gets Bronson Reed over.
Well, it gives him something to now immediately do. It protects Strowman. You're going to have a spinoff feud with Seth Rollins, obviously.
I think that's underselling it a little bit. I think this makes Bronson Reed look like a really big fucking deal.
We'll see.
Bigger deal than he was. He's elevated.
Is he?
Yes. Putting Seth Rollins on the shelf and then having Seth Rollins use his re-entrance to come out and attack you, yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. So what's the end game? How does this feud
Didn't we talk
end?
about this what's the end game? How does the feud end? I mean, Rollins ends up going over.
Okay, so how's that? So we're elevating Bronson Reed because Seth is that good?
I feel like we talked about this a couple weeks ago where I was like, Bronson Reed's ceiling is like the IC. And having a match against a champion, Bronson Reed's ceiling, he could face off for the title in a pay-per-view match, but he could not win. That's what I think his ceiling is, because we were comparing him to Bron Breakker and Carmelo Hayes.
I do remember this conversation. I guess here's where my problem is now that we've kind of had him go through this Braun Strowman mini feud or whatever the case may be. I still look at him as a main event star, and now you're telling me that we're going to use him to get Seth back to where he's going to naturally be at the top of the card.
It's not for Seth. It's giving Seth something to do, but Seth can't be involved with anybody else right now, and you might as well use him to make a guy bigger, and that's what they've done with Bronson Reed. Dude, those tsunamis they did 3 weeks in a row, that got him over.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
I mean, in my brain, anyway.
It put him back on the map, but it's still now I need if there's no payoff for all this, so what do we do all this for? You know what I'm saying? If he's dropping all these guys, there's not a payoff. He didn't beat Braun Strowman. He got stomped off by Seth Rollins. If he loses this feud to Seth Rollins, now what?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even arguing with you. So that's going to do it for our 2 count.
1, 2,
About damn time. Shit.
JCB, what's the 3 count?
Yeah.
I'll leave it up to you.
I guess we can talk to Doc for a little bit. I'm assuming you said you watched.
I finished it.
You finished it. I finished it as well. I'll let you go first. What'd you think?
I thought it was incredible. I thought that it's not made for guys like you and me. It's not made for people that have seen all the dark sides of the ring. Like I told Murray on Facebook, I was, because Murray said it was boring. It's like, yeah, it was boring. I've watched plenty of documentary footage of the Montreal Screwjob. I learned about the Montreal Screwjob, I think, when I read Mick Foley's first book, because I was not watching it in 1997. But that was the first time I ever heard about the Montreal Screwjob. Didn't remember when it happened. But it is such a famous incident. I mean, it is... I'm not even trying to be flip. It's like 9/11 for professional wrestling. It was like the moment. It was like everything changed after that. It's such a landmark thing. But I've spent the last 25 years thinking about it. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not exciting to me, but I was getting text messages from friends and loved ones who are watching it, and they know that, I'm a mark, and they're like, oh, shit, this shit's crazy. This thing's crazy. This thing is crazy. And it's like, yeah, and when you watch it all aggregated like that, I thought it made Vince look ultimately like probably the reprehensible human being / monster that he is. I mean, he is fucking insane. And he has been insane for a long fucking time. And his humiliation fetish thing that we used to laugh about making people lose in their hometowns every single time somebody went and fought in front of their family, Vince McMahon would make them lose. There was that guy that used to give me tickets that worked for WWE, and one of the guys is at the bar with him. They were like, he put him on TV because the guy was of South Asian descent, and he put him out there with the Great Khali, and the Great Khali dumped a bunch of shit on him or something, and Vince was doing it because the guy kind of irked him with one thing that he did. It was like, and this was a backstage guy, and it's just, and when you watch it, like I said, when you watch it all aggregated like that, along with the current day Vince being pretty open, weird. My jaw dropped when he said, yeah, I have 3 computers in my head, and the guy's like, what's the other computer thinking about now? He's like, well, it's something about sex.
I was
and
like,
what the fuck, dude?
You said, dude, it's a hot mic. It's a hot mic.
He said that right after he said, you never know what the other one's thinking about. And it's like, now I'm going to tell you. It's like, okay, and now you're just thinking about sex, you fucking old man? You're sitting here. It's like, whatever. Okay, some people are hornier than others, I guess.
God bless them.
But the stuff that really stuck with me, like the Owen Hart stuff, I know it all. I know it front and back. Yes. I could do that. I could do the voiceover on that documentary. That's
still tough to watch to this day.
Still tough to watch, but the stuff with the massage parlor chick that I think it was Mickey James, but somebody at a tanning salon accused McMahon of sexual assault. And 6 weeks later, after they dropped their case because of lack of evidence, 6 weeks later, Vince puts somebody working at a tanning salon, I think it was Mickey James, falsely accusing somebody of sexual assault. That's fucking insane, man. The shit with Ashley Massaro, very sad. And that's a fucking weird backstage segment to watch with the context that we have now. It's evil shit.
Yeah.
A couple other things stood out to me, but what stood out to you?
Shane McMahon. That was the one that really stuck out with me because it was a lineage of Vince didn't have a good relationship with his father. And you would think that, at least in my head, someone that doesn't have kids, you would want to go out of your way to make sure you have a better relationship with your son, especially with the son. And that clearly wasn't the case. Shane so desperately craved his dad's approval the same way Vince Jr. craved Vince Sr.'s approval.
I mean, that promo that Shane's cutting to Vince where he's talking about all he ever wanted was him to be proud of him and shit. It's they cut that so effectively. It was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It looked so fucking real and dramatic and shit.
Yeah, and it just amplified, just how I felt bad for Shane, because then you see him going through the King of the Ring or trying to get through the ring.
100% felt bad for Shane, and he seemed sad.
Yeah, legitimately, this hurt to say. The hug after the WrestleMania match, after he left and then came back.
And he said, I guess I earned that one.
I'm like, you think? You think?
Oh, but he said that with acid though. There was a lot behind
because
that.
He earned it way beforehand, and now he's just getting it here. Here's your flowers 20 years after the fact, Shane. There you go, brother. Get the fuck out of here, Vince. That shit's crazy talk.
The Benoit stuff, again, something that I know frontwards and back. But the CTE part of it, I'll tell you what, I'm a Stone Cold Mark through and through. Stone Cold saying that he doesn't believe in CTE was
crazy.
Really disappointing.
Yeah.
It's
I was like, what?
It's like, you sound so stupid, right? You sound like a flat earther.
Look, love Stone Cold. One of the best in the business. Past, present, probably future. That was the dumbest thing he's ever
Stone
said.
Cold Steve Austin?
Yes.
One of the best, huh? You like Stone Cold? You think he's pretty good?
Yeah. Pretty good. On my Mount Rushmore. So, yeah, I think very highly of him.
I almost wonder if he was misspeaking and he was trying to say that he didn't believe that CTE caused Chris Benoit to snap. And that's the way he said it.
Then
because
we need to see that entire
because they
clip.
cut straight to Chris Nowinski, who's like, CTE is something you can see on an MRI. He's like, it's a physical thing. He's like, it's not an imaginary.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's actually a thing.
It didn't make Stone Cold look very good right there, borderline ignorant. So I don't know.
I met Chris Nowinski in a restaurant in Chicago one time. You know what I gave him? An unprotected chair shot.
Wait, shit.
He was big.
The Montreal screw job, obviously, that was a huge thing. But to open that show, I think that was episode 2, when Wendy Richter had to drop the title and she didn't want to do it. I vaguely remember that. I think
I don't really remember that.
The Fabulous Moolah was the Black Widow or something along those lines. And I think I remember the roll-up, and it was just weird because it's like 1, 2, 3. I'm like, what the fuck? And the next thing you know, the title was changed.
Yeah, out of all, I thought I knew all the stories. I didn't know that one.
It was, but it's obviously the precursor to why Vince does what he did down the line. It's not business. It's never personal with Vince. It's always business.
I loved how they were like, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I love when they were like, Pat Patterson. He never did anything to those ring boys. It was just a gay witch hunt. And then Tony Atlas is like, Pat Patterson, grab my package.
I'm like,
he just grabbed it. Who am I going to tell? The booker? He is the booker.
Why don't you tell anybody? I'm like, dude, come on. You know what this answer is. I'll echo what you said.
Complain to HR, Tony
right.
Atlas.
Yeah. I'll echo what you said. If you're a wrestling fan, this is a nice little walk down memory lane. When Rock won the title here in St. Louis for the first time, I was there. So, yeah, walk down memory lane, check. Triple H talking about, the curtain call, check, things like that.
Yeah,
We've all talked. We know stuff like that.
It always seems like the curtain call, they talk about it a lot, but it's like, it just doesn't seem like that big of a deal.
It was to a certain degree because, well, actually, it's a bigger deal because it opens the door for Stone Cold.
I'll tell you what, man. They fucking Bruce Pritchard was sitting there fucking stunned, waiting for WWE to give him a hidden blade, and he was like, I love Vince. He's like, I thought it sucked. He's like, I thought your 2 shows sucked. Vince paid for my wife's cancer treatments. They gave her 4 years to live. That was 24 years ago. You guys need to show the human side of Vince. And that's like 2 days later.
Right?
It's like all the text messages came out.
Right? I'm like, man, you better shut the fuck up some
They
ways.
hung him out to dry.
Okay.
They're like, you're going to tell me my documentary sucks on camera? This is what I'm going to do to you.
Right. That's the only thing that if there was anything that I missed or wanted to see, better choice of words, it's, what we're missing between the time filming ended and present time.
It could have been 20 episodes for all I cared. I would have watched it, but I would have watched an entire 60 minutes on Katie Vick. I really would have. I thought it was fucking incredible. Now, listen, I understand why Murray said it was boring. Like, that makes sense to me.
I can see that, too. I didn't think it was boring.
Here's the thing about Netflix is that everybody has Netflix, and Netflix, has so many more subscribers than even the next closest. Like, Netflix is a big fucking deal. And when they put on a documentary like that, like the guy that made this Vince documentary made Tiger King. Do you remember how many people watched Tiger King?
A shit ton.
He also made American Movie 25 years ago. If you've never seen American Movie, it is fucking hilarious. Just one of the funniest documentaries of all time. But, yeah, I mean, I thought it was incredible. I'm recommending it to a lot of people and being like, I just want you to know that there was other stuff going on that wasn't Vince-related. I wasn't calling Stephanie a slut. At least I don't think I was. The other thing is Vince, I mean, there were so many things. But when it shows all that stuff together and Vince talks about proposing the storyline where he impregnates Stephanie and Stephanie won't talk about it, that is the sign of a fucked up person. I loved the New York Times critic or the New York Post critic who feels like he sees Vince for exactly what he is and always has and always been like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
From the steroids to present day, you talking about
it's
that
like,
guy?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, sorry to our Trump listeners, but it's kind of the way I see people that like Trump. It's like, do you see how fucking stupid this guy is? Like, he pronounced it Thailand. He's one of the dumbest motherfuckers to ever walk the face of the earth.
Oh, Jesus!
I mean, when they were like, oh, he was perfect. He was perfect in pro wrestling, and then he became president. It's like, yeah, it's the same thing,
right?
And they showed it perfectly,
yes.
just beautifully cut.
Yes, yeah. I totally forgot about that. When Trump was on, it really felt like not much has changed. The person I saw on WWE TV is pretty much the same guy I see on CNN, ABC, or whatever the case may be. Not much has changed. So the fact that if you'd have told me right then when they were talking about the battle of the billionaires that this motherfucker right here is going to be the president someday, I'd have laughed in your motherfucking face.
I tell you what, if you would have put Vince, if you would have asked me then who's more likely to be president,
I would have said Vince McMahon.
That's
between those two.
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
I would have said Vince McMahon.
I would have said Umaga. Because we know they're not electing somebody as black as Bobby Lashley.
Not then, they wouldn't.
I don't think they would now.
No.
They have a white mom.
We'll bring out his sisters. Maybe they could get him some votes.
That's terrible.
It's the truth, man. No, I overall, I did like the doc. I won't call it boring. It's just, like I said, for guys like us that watch the shit on a regular, it was a nice
I watched the entire thing with my wife, and she knows more than the average person because of
by osmosis.
Yeah, by osmosis. But she was riveted, and then she was absolutely disgusted.
Yeah,
just absolutely disgusted. And I was like, there were other things going on that wasn't just Vince ramming his tongue down women's throats and making Trish Stratus bark like a dog.
Jesus. So much shit.
Vince tried to buy it back.
What, the documentary?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Like 2 weeks ago. He was like, I'm going to buy it from you because he did not want it to come
out. Of course.
Listen, man, it's not a hatchet job.
No.
To put what has been recorded.
Yeah.
None of that shit was out of context.
No.
Listen, Vince chose the context a long time ago. The context is there's blurry lines between reality and kayfabe, and he blurred those lines a long time ago. And now he's being judged on it because there is shoot stuff that happened that there was always evidence of.
Agreed.
And not only was he not punished for it, he was fucking made a billionaire because of it.
Agreed. I was going to say, I love the fact he was talking about WCW trying to put him out of business, but then he put the local promoters out of business beforehand and took their town. I'm like, dude, you ain't shit. God damn.
As our friends Jones once said, he's Walt Disney for the scum of the earth.
Thank you, Jeff Jones.
Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about, and I'm sure we'll talk about it next week because I know that Zach will have a lot to get up his chest too. But that's going to do it for our 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
All right, Jason, some odds and ends before we get to the predictions.
Let's talk NXT. They had their first debut show on the CW and apparently did some monster numbers.
Did they? I didn't see that.
One of their highest rated shows since October 2023. Like a 146% increase between the demographics of 20. You can go see the numbers for yourself. It was a huge deal. It felt like a big deal. And this is no disrespect to Full Sail. I like the Full Sail crowd. They get invested all the time. But this felt like a borderline pay-per-view PLE type of show. Chicago was invested right from the start. Let's just run down the show real quick. Julia versus Roxanne. Roxanne retains the NXT women's title with an assist from the returning Cora Jade. Didn't expect Cora Jade coming. I thought this was a slam dunk for Julia, to be perfectly honest. I just assumed she was going to take the title, move Roxanne up. But I don't have a problem with this. I like Cora Jade as a heel. They're teasing about getting her and Roxanne back together. I'm sure you saw of more Cora Jade and Roxanne than I did. That was probably during my NXT.
They kind of have the same character.
And ultimately, I figured that they're going to have some sort of beef for the title. They were kind of beefing for the title before Cora Jade got hurt. Now, kind of surprising to see Cora Jade help Roxanne. We'll see what happens there. Other matches, we'll just go down the matches really quick. Wesley defeats Zachary Wentz in a street fight.
Wild match.
I thought this was a really good match. Kudos to both guys here.
Zach Wentz missed that table.
Yeah, I was like, I know what you were trying to do. You wasn't even trying to do. You failed miserably. He missed that table. I literally got off the couch. I was like, oh my God, that shit looks like it hurts.
No, he missed it by a lot too.
Oh yeah, not even close. Not even close.
He just shot straight over that motherfucker.
God bless
That's a big
dude.
bump.
Oh, that looked brutal. I was like, good thing. It's a good thing he does that a lot because hopefully his body's just used to it. But yeah, that was not the spot I was expecting. Fallon Henley and JC Jane defeat Loa Vice and Jada Parker. Jada Parker leaves Loa Vice to the wolves as she thinks Loa Vice is trying to attack her a second time. Post-match, Kalani Jordan and Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill clear out Fatal Influence. They'll have a 6-man tag next week. That is what it is, but whatever. No big deal. Main event, obviously, Trick Williams and Ethan Page for the NXT Championship with CM Punk as the special referee. Trick Williams regains the NXT title. Bit of surprise here for me personally. I liked Ethan Page as a champ, but I guess this is a second try for Trick. Maybe they can get him over a second time. I honestly thought Ethan Page should have won. That's just me.
I mean, my first thought after that main event is welcome to network TV where there is no overrun. Like, that felt, the main event felt rushed. The very ending felt rushed. It didn't feel like Trick got to bask in the glory on television very much. And then CM Punk hit Ethan Page with a GTS that you might have missed if you weren't paying attention because it kind of happened while Trick was celebrating. It looked like they rushed it really bad. I don't think they're probably leading to CM Punk, Ethan Page, anything. Yeah, I think it was just popping the boys.
No, I think it was a quick, victory lap for Trick Williams. The show felt quick. I'll say that. This show.
It was a good show.
Well, yeah, it was. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the show. It just felt like,
I really liked the Obafemi Tony D'Angelo segment. Obafemi, man, that guy has made a lot of progress over a very, very short amount of time. He seems very comfortable. Had a good look, cut a good promo. He's scary, and I don't really hate the story that they're telling with Tony D'Angelo. Now it's kind of fleshed out a little bit that he isn't afraid to admit that, yeah, man, this guy, I feel vulnerable. So I'm cool with it.
No, it's for 2024. It's a solid storyline for, getting in touch with your feelings and all that shit. I'm down for that. I don't give a fuck if it's a stealing off
you
of.
You feel like you're in touch with your feelings?
Not all of them, but there's certain feelings I just don't even want to be touched by. Certain motherfuckers just need to be set aside. I don't care if this is a rip-off of.
It's the realest thing you've ever said.
Hey, it's the truth. This is Rocky 3
Yes.
or Rocky 4. I don't care. They're making it to now where.
It's a 40-year-old movie. It's fine.
I'm looking at Tony D'Angelo at the end when they're kind of staring at each other down. You can see, at least I think I can see the doubt. I'm like, okay, I still want to see this match play itself out.
Who wins in Rocky 3?
It's about to say, which match you talking about, motherfucker? Should have been Clubber Lang both times. Nah, I still like Rocky 3 is my favorite. Clubber Lang is just an amazing heel, but another story for another time. I do like Omafemi. I think I'm just trying to figure out how you get the title off of him. Ultimately, I mean, he's getting pushed strong as well he should. But no, I agree with everything that you said. This made me feel like Obafemi is going to be a cornerstone of NXT/WWE for years to come.
Yeah.
The biggest thing.
He's a little ways away from the main roster, but let him dominate NXT
for a couple years, fine. Just do it like you did with Bron Breakker. The biggest thing with WWE is that you have to be able to talk. And getting his reps in now, especially on Miz TV, in a scenario like that, CW's debut show, it was a perfect time to do it, and he did well.
Anything else to say about NXT?
Talked about Delta.
It was a good show.
Yeah, Delta had a vignette towards the end. She'll be.
Who is Delta?
She is women's wrestler. I think she's from South America. Don't quote me on that.
So they got Stephanie Vaquer, they got Julia, and they got her.
So obviously, the aforementioned Stephanie Vaquer, she'll be getting Roxanne next. After obviously we talked about that last week. I'll be curious to see if Roxanne can go 2 for 2 with these two big names that came outside of WWE into WWE, and now she defeats both. It will really be hard to have her shut up. Delta might be the final boss, if you will. We'll see when that happens. But I thought it was a really good NXT, and I thought they presented it really well for the first time outside of Full Sail in a long, long time.
That's going to do it for odds and ends.
Man from Ringside.
Unless you want to talk about Destruction Kobe, which I did not watch.
I did.
Any titles change hands?
I didn't. I just watched the main event, honestly, just because I wanted to see how Naito looked against Great O'Khan. It was fine. It's not a scenario.
Oh,
where
that was the main event?
If I'm not mistaken.
Great O'Khan went over.
No.
No. So,
no. Love him, but not so much.
Man from Ringside.
All right. We got WWE Bad Blood coming up Saturday night.
God, I'm so jealous. I really want to watch this shit live.
It is in Atlanta, Georgia, and there are 5 matches on the card. So, I'm going to go in the order that they put them on. Excuse me. The order that they put them on Wikipedia. So, we have Zach's picks.
I didn't even see him. I saw him sneak that son of a bitch in.
So, right now, I'm in first place with 165 points. JCB is right behind me with 165 points. Two Beer Zach Pullman's got 161, bringing up the rear. We only got 3 months left, and it is tight. It's as tight as it's ever been.
True story.
This pay-per-view actually has quite a bit of uncertainty surrounding it. All 5 of these seems like they could go either way because, well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
so we got Punk McIntyre, Hell in a Cell. We have to assume that this is the blow-off match for this feud, which has been one of the 2 best feuds of the year. Seems to be the consensus around here. Who do you have, Jason?
Ay. Gotta think with my head, not the heart, because I have big withdrew, but it just feels like Punk, his time is limited, so you want to maximize the time that he has. I don't want to do it, but I want to do it. I'm picking CM Punk.
Zach also took CM Punk. I am going the other way. I'm taking Drew McIntyre.
Nice.
I think that CM Punk can absorb a loss better. McIntyre certainly can absorb a loss, but McIntyre is not as much of a made guy as CM Punk is. That's just, that's the bottom line. He's just been around less time. CM Punk is a huge star.
Agreed.
Too much of this feud has been over a bracelet. That's how good this feud has been because I'm still into it. I am looking forward to this match, but I'm taking McIntyre.
I really want McIntyre to win. Like I said, I think he's been a driving force in WWE. His character has evolved. His social media game is
the WWE Star of the Year. WWE Wrestler of the Year for me is in between McIntyre and who is the other person I was just thinking of?
Gunther.
Sorry, yeah, between McIntyre and Gunther. So up next we have Nia Jax versus Bayley. I will go first here. Haven't really thought about this. Probably should have. Let's think about this. Super Zach Pullman took Nia Jax. Too early to put it back on Bayley, but you do have the specter of Tiffany Stratton hanging around. It's the beauty of the Money in the Bank. I'm gonna go with what I just think it's gonna happen. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but Nia Jax. Who you got, Jason?
I'm making this my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock of the week. I'm going with Nia Jax to retain for all the reasons that you said beforehand. Too early for Bayley to get it back. Nia just won it. It's too early for Tiffany to cash in. We just started to really tease the bully Nia Jax over Tiffany Stratton, so we got to let that marinate for a little bit so you can get that huge pop when she does cash it in. So,
you know what? I'm looking at the rest of the picks, and I'm going to make that my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock of the week also.
Yeah, probably the safest bet.
Probably the safest bet. Like I said, lots of intrigue. Damian Priest versus Finn Balor in what is truly some bad blood. Finn Balor, you could say, has been the guy in the Judgment Day that has benefited the least from Judgment Day. When you look at Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, even JD McDonough has benefited quite a bit from being in this, not counting Carlito. Zach has taken Damian Priest. I am taking Finn Balor.
I love how you set that up to take Finn Balor. That you make all the perfect sense in the world. I cannot agree with you more. More and more you talked. Dominic is probably one of the biggest winners out of Judgment Day. His heel heat is pretty unrivaled when it comes to WWE and professional wrestling in general. I gotta see it. I'm going to take Damian Priest. I would love to see Finn Balor win this match and extend the feud if you wanted to go that route. I know they're both heavyweight champions past, but Priest is just a little more, recency biased, so that's why I'm going with that. I'll take Damian Priest.
Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, and I just realized it probably wasn't fair for me to not tell you who Zach picked in the first one. You should know the same information that I know. Not saying it would change your pick or anything, but Zach has taken Liv Morgan in the Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. Me and Zach we're off on everything, and that scares me.
Usually that's your boy.
Because I'm taking Rhea Ripley.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm taking Liv Morgan. I know Dominic in the Shark Tank is going to play some sort of factor. I just
forgot about Dominic in the Shark Tank.
I don't think that it's time to take it off of Liv Morgan yet. Rhea is made. You can come back to that at any given point and still have her be champ. I would be a little surprised, not bigly surprised, but I would be surprised if Dominic somehow, some way didn't help Liv to win this.
Then where does Rhea go? Who does Rhea feud with next? Judgment Day can feud with anybody.
That is an interesting question. There's not much that I can think of off the top of my head. Io Sky might be some sort of spinoff if you wanted to go that route. Honestly, I don't think that there's a good answer to that question off the top of my head, because right now the women that are in the Raw side feel like they're in a feud and they're all feuding with each other. There hasn't been a thought about whoever is. If Liv wins, who's the next opponent? Kind of more so to my point that I was just getting ready to make. Nobody has been built up to where they're the next ready-made opponent for whoever the winner is. I'm taking Liv just because you need to still build her up more. Rhea's made.
And then finally we have the Mega Powers, Cody Rhodes. That's what Zach put in the text message. The Mega Powers, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus the Bloodline 2.0, which is Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Zach took the baby faces. I, too, am taking the baby faces because I can't see either Cody or Roman. I can't see neither Cody nor Roman taking a pin here. Who do you got?
I love the Mega. That's a great call. I'm gonna take the baby faces too, aka the Mega Powers. If there's going to be the rumored match to Crown Jewel, you got to build to that. Both guys on the same team, going for the title makes sense. I guess the question is, does Solo take the pin?
Yeah.
Ouch. Then that's going to give a lot of the Solo Sikoa doubters, haters.
Roman pin.
Ouch. Yeah, then that's really going to be an interesting finish. I don't doubt the Bloodline loses. I don't know how you have a hard enough time building Solo Sikoa up as the head of the Bloodline. I don't think this is a really good way to help
He's not
that.
be the head of the Bloodline anymore. Yeah. Jacob Fatu is here.
Yeah, right. So, did you see Cody on Pat McAfee today?
No.
Supposedly, somebody big is coming back this weekend. He didn't say who. That's your call.
Hikuleo.
That's why you my dog.
I mean, who else would it be? The Rock?
Brock Lesnar, Rock are the two.
It ain't Brock Lesnar.
I don't think it's Brock Lesnar either. I think Brock is probably smart and just hiding out.
He's laying low.
It as well he should. I would be a little surprised if it wasn't The Rock. Hikuleo just doesn't feel like... I heard he was in NXT first and foremost, but even if
really?
This is what I've read, that he's been internally moved to the NXT roster, which would make some sense. I think he's still a little green at certain spots, and throwing him into the Bloodline angle might be a little too soon, too much. That's just me. I wouldn't be surprised to see The Rock.
Yeah, that would be cool if we see The Rock. Well, then that kind of makes me want to take the Bloodline 2.0.
Doesn't it, though? Honestly, if it is Brock Lesnar, it's better be quick, and you better have a plan. I mean, this cannot be.
I'm telling you, it's not Brock Lesnar.
I don't think it is either.
Not while that documentary is still hot on Netflix. They mentioned him at the end.
Well, yeah, because I mean, obviously he was one of the people that was named.
Vince was sending messages to.
Yeah, and for multiple reasons. I don't think you need Brock back.
Only one of those reasons is probably criminal, though. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, I'll say there's probably more than that.
You need that good stuff from Peru.
Oh, Jesus. I'm curious to see who comes back. I just don't think it's Hikuleo. Brock just, like I said, probably doesn't need to come back.
It's The Rock.
It would make the most sense.
Man from ringside.
Hey, everybody, we got some birthdays this week.
Oh, shit.
John Morrison, Johnny TV, is 45.
The man of many nicknames.
Chief J. Strongbow, R.I.P., would have been 96. Abyss, who I think is like a backstage guy with WWE now, is 51. Linda McMahon. Enjoy that week, Linda, when the Netflix documentary is out, making your husband of 50-something years look like an absolute fucking psychopath.
Yes. Oh, my God.
She's 76.
Yeah. Hey, Linda.
Wiping her fucking tears with golden napkins.
No shit.
Zema Ion. Do you know what Zema Ion's name in WWE is?
Joaquin Wilde?
I don't know. I think that's it. He is 38. Bruno Sammartino.
Nailed it. R.I.P.
Would have been 89. Rhino is 49. Aiden English, still doing it, is 37.
Matthew Waywald on
Miz.
Impact.
The Miz is 44.
Turned heel for his birthday.
So The Miz and John Morrison are 1 year apart in the same week. Eddie Guerrero would have been 57. Still, he'd be out there wrestling. He'd be with AEW, don't you think?
Yeah, if he was still around, yeah. Somehow, some way, he'd be lying, cheating, and stealing on somebody's show. It's way too entertaining.
Steven Richards. Oh, I love Steven Richards.
You had to make that motherfucker last, huh?
I love Right to Censor. 53 years old.
Everybody's like, Steven, who?
Rabbit fever, middle
Hey, everybody, we know there's tons of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to our podcast. For Joey O'Farrell,
Check.
for Lucha Chris,
Check.
for Murray the Murray Man Murray,
Check.
for Patriot Pat, for
Check.
Vice, for
Check.
Brett Jagger,
Check.
for Two Beer Zach Bowman,
Check.
for Jason Cornelius Bell.
Konnichiwa,
I
bitches.
am Bill Vagey.
Check.
Remember that Black Lives Matter.
Check.
Support your local weed dealers.
Check.
Support your local restaurants.
Double check.
Give your parents a call.
Triple check.
Free fucking Palestine.
Triple check.
And never, ever forget to boo the heels.
Boo!